If this message reaches you, it is meant for you. For anyone seeking inner peace today, you are not the mind. Listen, take a slow breath, because what I'm about to share is not a history lesson. It is a homecoming, a return to something quiet, ancient, and buried inside you. Something your soul has always remembered, even if your mind has forgotten. Today, we explore Thanksgiving, not as a holiday, not as a dinner table tradition, not as a story of pilgrims and Native Americans, but as a spiritual doorway, a moment in the year where the noise of life finally softens and the heart whispers truths we rarely take time to hear. And if you are watching this, especially if you're someone above the age of 55, someone who has seen decades of life, chapters of joy and chapters of loss, seasons of holding on and seasons of letting go, this message is especially for you. Because Thanksgiving, in its deepest sense, is not about what happened hundreds of years ago. It's about what is happening inside you right now. You and I have grown up hearing the same story, a feast, a meal, people sharing peace. But the truth is this: Thanksgiving is not a story of what happened around a table. Thanksgiving is a story of what happens in the human heart when life becomes too heavy to carry alone. It is the moment when gratitude becomes more than a word. It becomes medicine. It becomes a way of surviving grief, a way of remembering what matters, a way of touching the divine. So today, we are not going to retell history. We are going to understand why gratitude transforms the soul and why Thanksgiving, when understood spiritually, awakens something extraordinary inside us. If you are above 55, you already know a profound truth. Life teaches gratitude the same way storms teach trees how to bend. The moments that made you grateful weren't the easy ones. They were the moments when you survived something you thought would break you, when you lost someone you loved but kept going, when you worked long years not for praise but for family, when you forgave someone who never said sorry, when you gave love even when life didn't give it back. This is the real Thanksgiving, the one that lives in the quiet places of the heart. And perhaps somewhere in your memory you have a Thanksgiving that wasn't about turkey or stuffing, but about togetherness. Maybe it was the year the power went out and everyone sat around candlelight, laughing. Maybe it was the year you had very little on the table, but the room felt full anyway. Maybe it was the year someone came home, or the year someone didn't, and gratitude felt more like a tear than a smile. The soul discovers gratitude only after it discovers life. Every culture has a moment of pause. But America's pause, Thanksgiving, has always been unique. Because beneath the traditions lies a universal truth. You cannot be grateful and anxious at the same time. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. Gratitude and suffering cannot sit in the same chair, and so Thanksgiving is not a celebration. It is a reset, a stillness, a moment where life invites you to return to your center. The first Thanksgiving wasn't about the food. It was about the pause, the silence, the acknowledgement of survival, the recognition of shared humanity. That is the essence of Thanksgiving, and that essence belongs to you. I want to tell you a real story. A woman named Linda, 61 years old, lost her husband during the pandemic. Her first Thanksgiving alone was unbearable. The house was too quiet. His chair was empty, his voice missing. She told her daughter, "I don't even want Thanksgiving anymore. There's nothing left to be grateful for." But that morning, as she made coffee, she found a small note stuck inside her cookbook. It was her husband's handwriting. "Remember, gratitude is where I always found you," she broke. But through her tears, she whispered the simplest Thanksgiving prayer. "Thank you for the years we had." That day, gratitude didn't erase her pain, but it gave her the strength to hold it gently. This is the Thanksgiving most Americans live: bittersweet, emotional, healing, reflective. This is the Thanksgiving your soul understands. Joel Goldsmith once said, "True gratitude is not for things. It is the recognition of the presence within you. This is the heart of Thanksgiving. Gratitude is not about food, people, possessions, or memories. Gratitude is the moment you realize you are being carried, you are being guided. You are being held by something greater than yourself. Even when life feels uncertain, even when the body grows older, even when time takes what it once gave, the presence within you remains untouched. That presence is where gratitude lives." Goldsmith said, "Everything you seek is already within you, waiting for your recognition. Thanksgiving is simply the doorway to that recognition." At this stage of life, you understand what younger people don't. Gratitude is not about adding things. It is about appreciating what remains. It's about the wisdom you earned, the moments you survived, the love you gave, the memories that shaped you, the compassion you learned, the forgiveness that set you free. Above all, it's about presence. As we grow older, the greatest gift becomes time, and the deepest gratitude becomes simply being here. Thanksgiving becomes quieter but more meaningful. Simple but sacred. You don't chase more. You honor what is. Another story. A man named Robert, 72. His children were distant after years of misunderstandings. One Thanksgiving, his daughter unexpectedly showed up. They sat in silence. Then she softly said, "Dad, thank you for trying your best." Something inside him cracked open. Not because he was perfect, but because sometimes the heart only needs one sentence to heal years of silence. This is Thanksgiving, not the food, not the decorations, but the courage to say, "Thank you," even when things weren't perfect. If you strip everything away, what is Thanksgiving? It is the moment you stop asking, "What is missing from my life?" and start asking, "What is still here?" Because when you are grateful, you stop resisting life. You stop fighting the past. You stop fearing the future. Gratitude brings you into the only place inner peace has ever existed, the present moment. And when you are fully present, even for a breath, that is Thanksgiving. If you are listening to this right now, there is something you need to hear. You have lived enough life to know that nothing lasts forever except the love you carry within you. Every person you ever loved, every memory that ever touched your heart, every moment where you showed kindness, none of it is gone. It lives inside your consciousness, woven into the very fabric of your soul. Thanksgiving is not about remembering history. It's about remembering yourself, your journey, your story, your growth, your survival, your heart. Because you, just by being here, are already a living Thanksgiving. If this message touched you, even for a moment, take a deep breath and whisper with me, "Thank you, life, for carrying me this far." And if you would like more messages that bring peace, clarity, healing, and spiritual understanding in a world that rarely slows down, make sure you subscribe. Not for me, but for yourself. Because every week I share messages like this to help you reconnect with your inner peace, your divine presence, and the deeper meaning behind your life's journey. And if this Thanksgiving message brought comfort to your heart and you feel called to support this work, you can also use Super Thanks today. Your gesture means more than you know, and it helps these messages reach more people who need healing and peace. Thank you, truly, whenever you're ready. Subscribe, and let's continue this spiritual path together.